I thought I knew myself. That was before I found myself stirring the poop in the bottom of a composting toilet. That's how you really come to know yourself. Before this point, I was a city girl. I wore high heels and the latest fashion and rarely left the house without makeup. I crisscrossed the country, living in big cities, D.C., L.A., Portland. I worked hard building my career and landed my dream job at the Denver VA in my home state of Colorado. Sure, I would be there until I retired. I was also a weekend warrior. I played hard, snowboarding, hiking, backpacking, climbing. I was what you might call busy. Then, one day, everything changed. I was driving in the car and heard a story that came on the radio. I was about to change the station when I had a strong impression that I should listen to this story. Before I knew it, I was living on the side of Pikes Peak in a cabin built in 1923. There was no electricity or running water, and our only heat source was a wood-burning stove, for which we had to gather, cut, and split all the wood. It's true when they say a wood-burning stove heats you twice. There was also no road access. It was a 6.5-mile hike with 4,000 feet of elevation gain to get to our home at 10,200 feet. It didn't take much for me to convince my newish boyfriend to join me in this new gig. They're looking for couples was about all I had to say. We were the new caretakers at Bar Camp, which was a waypoint and rustic bed and breakfast on the bar trail that went from the base of Pikes Peak in Manitou Springs to the summit at 14,115 feet. I should say that I was compelled to take this journey by a strong voice inside me that said this was where I was meant to be. But it did not fit the path I had in mind for myself. I had no intention of living with my newish boyfriend on the side of a mountain with none of the comforts of life that I was used to. On our first day of training, we ran an aid station for a running race that goes to the summit of Pikes Peak. Then, while the rest of the volunteers got to sleep or go for a hike, we learned how to trap a rat that had taken up residence in the bunkhouse, stirred the poop in the composting toilet, carried 100-pound propane tanks to the cabin, and learned how to prepare dinner for 45-plus people. After that long day, I sat on a bench with my boyfriend and cried. I wasn't sure I was cut out for it all. I'm a girl who gets pedicures and massages and colors her hair every 6 weeks. But that strong voice spoke to me. This was where I was supposed to be. I learned that I was cut out for it. In fact, I was great at it. I didn't need the comforts of life to find joy. In fact, it was easier to find without them. In that space on the side of the mountain, I found myself in a whole new way. I found stillness and connection in a way I could never find in the big cities. I found peace and I found love. Love for myself exactly as I am. Love for the thousands of strangers who became friends, if even just for a few minutes. Love for nature and quiet in a way I'd never known. And even love for the person I'd choose to spend the rest of my life with. I found me, the authentic me, who still enjoys a good massage, but who isn't afraid to wield a chainsaw or otherwise get my hands dirty. I found that in stillness, away from the busyness of life, I learned to experience true love.